It's the second season of the Magical Mommy Monday podcast. Jen and Angela are two moms raised on Disney magic, figuring out parenthood one day, one milestone, and sometimes one meltdown at a time. Thanks for listening and enjoy this week's new episode.
So my aunt and I are going on the Jurassic Park River Journey Adventure, whatever, water ride at Universal. And we're going through the ride. And then she just whispers in my ear, I met Jeff Goldblum and Laura Dern. And I look at her like, what? She's like, yeah, they started dating.
Famous.
Yeah. They started dating.
They met me.
Right, obviously.
Oh, yeah, true.
Yeah, you do not, you know what? Say it properly.
Yeah, I'm sorry. What was I thinking? I got a little starstruck.
Yeah.
And then you just kind of left it at that, at how you attended a self-defense class with Laura Dern and Jeff Goldblum was there. And then we went down the drop and that was the end of the story. And you never brought it up the rest of the trip. Mm-hmm. And I have been holding on to that for a solid month, waiting for you to finish the story.
Okay. Do
you have to tell it?
Yeah, we need the whole story.
Yeah.
Okay. So it was right when they did Jurassic Park and I was living in LA and I was taking this killer self-defense class. Mm-hmm. The men had the helmets on. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
And you're basically learning how to beat the hell out of them and basically learning how to kill them.
Yeah.
And
just in case.
Yeah. Just in case. So in order to take the class, you have to go to a graduation of the class before you. You actually have to even be evaluated by a psychologist.
Oh, wow.
Just to get into the class because it's heavy duty, emotional.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Because things come out that you didn't even know were in. Like there was several people that had been raped and didn't even know it when they were younger. So that's how emotional it is. So anyway, so I had to go to the class to see whether I thought I could even do it.
Yeah.
And because there's a lot of yelling and hitting. And so I actually was watching it and Laura Dern was in the class.
Did you know it was her right away?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you have to graduate from it. You have to actually go in and attack the guy, the model mugger. Mm-hmm. And it was really hard for me to see because this tall guy was in front of me. So then I saw her and then I saw him. Like, oh, we must know her. And then I look at Jeff Goldblum. And it was, and they had their friends there too. Matter of fact, Sean Cassidy was also there. Do you know who he is?
Yes.
You know who Sean Cassidy is?
Yeah. I told you I'm not that young.
Okay. Well, I don't even believe she knows who he is.
I have older siblings and cousins. I know.
Okay. So he was there too, and he was such a nice guy. And Jeff Goldblum was very good looking.
Oh, he was so hot. Peak Jurassic Park. Oh my gosh.
And I didn't think it was out yet that they were dating.
Interesting. I love it. So then you guys had dinner, and then what?
And then you stole him from Laura Dern.
And then what?
You stole him from Laura Dern.
Well, I could have, because she wasn't looking that good because she was all sweaty and everything. And that was back when I was in phenomenal shape.
That's right. Yes. You could have swooped right in there.
Back when Lori skied in a bikini top.
Okay.
Down the slopes. We have photo evidence of this.
Yeah. Yes, we do.
Maybe it should be her promo picture for the podcast.
Oh, there you go. It shows that I'm fun.
It's
daring.
That you're outgoing. So you talked to him. What did you say?
I just said something stupid like, did you enjoy watching this? Which no one enjoys watching because you're seeing girls beat up on this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he just said, oh, it was very interesting.
That sounds like a very Jeff Goldblum thing to say. because we
Yeah.
totally know him
Yeah, obviously.
really well.
Oh,
Yeah.
totally.
I mean,
Yeah,
he's
well,
on Disney Plus, so we basically know him.
I know him
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
You do
it's
know
true.
him better.
That's true.
Thanks for pointing that out. I don't feel
Yeah.
jealous at all.
But whenever you want to hear other star-studded stories, I have plenty.
Let's do an introduction and then we'll move right along to today's topic. Welcome to the Magical Mommy Monday podcast. I'm Angela Dahlgren here with my co-host Jen Snyder.
Hello.
Last week we had Mark on the show with Special Ed Rising. Correct, Jen? Did I get that right?
You did.
That was a really fun episode. It was so nice to meet another friend of Jen's who could also tease her and say how great of a human she is.
I don't like
so
that.
that was just so fun.
Nobody has time for that.
No, we have lots of time. So after you listen to this episode, be sure to check that one out. Today, we have one of my special people. We have my Aunt Lori. She is Mama Terry's baby sister. So hello. Hi, Lori. How's it going?
Hi, I'm so glad that this is the first podcast I've ever been on.
Ever?
Yay, welcome.
Ever.
You're doing so well.
I feel honored.
Yes.
Lori has been a real estate agent for the past 18 years now.
Yeah.
18. But she has had many lives, it seems. She's originally from Chicago, but then she lived in LA for 20 years. And now she has
And in Singapore for a year.
That's
Oh.
right.
During 9/11.
I remember you
Wow.
telling me that you lived in Singapore and just ate like chocolate the whole time because you didn't care for the food that much.
No, I did not.
This is what I remember you telling me that you just ate a lot of chocolate
Yeah, and you know what? Now I can't eat much chocolate.
because you ate too
I
much.
did that. Mm-hmm.
No, because I had a kidney stone and they told me today, cut out that chocolate.
That's your favorite
Oh.
food.
Okay, they said, minimize it.
Okay. What if you had dark chocolate though?
Now that's on the list too.
Oh.
What about
But you-
popcorn? Because you ate a lot of popcorn at one point. Can you have popcorn?
Probably. But you know, the one thing I'm super disappointed in as I can eat. Oh, spinach and beets. Oh,
Darn it!
Oh,
I'm gonna miss
man.
that so
Man.
much.
Man, that's a
Too
tough
bad.
one.
Yeah,
Isn't
yeah,
that horrible?
It's really, really
Mm.
hard. So in addition to hearing lots of LA stories that Lori has to share, which are so funny and so interesting, we're also going to talk a little bit about our trip to Universal Orlando Resort and her experience as someone who has ADHD and how that affected her theme park experience and her tips and tricks. So let's get started. All right. So, Lori, we
Yes.
went to Universal Studios together, and you went to the one in California, right?
Yeah, but that was a long time ago.
20
I just
years?
remember waiting around a lot.
Okay, so
And
waits
waiting.
in
waiting.
line and waiting some
Yeah.
more.
Yeah,
And
don't
that's
like that.
and you're pretty, I mean, I'm an impatient person, but you're very impatient, would you say,
Yeah.
when it comes to
Super.
waiting? Yeah.
Yeah.
So we went in with we used a touring plan. Shout out to touring plans. Thank you for the subscription. But we went in with a touring plan. And I even said to him, like, we're going to have to make a choice between waiting in line for a short amount of time or caffeine and breakfast and getting up early, that whole thing.
Mhm.
And you were such a champ. You're like, if we don't have to wait in line, I will forego food for an extra few hours
And sleep.
and sleep.
Mhm.
And I really appreciated that.
I would have gone for 24 hours without sleeping, not to wait in line.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jen, so far, do you have any questions?
I don't have any questions so far.
Okay.
I'm letting you set the stage here.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that. So we
Although she wouldn't let me have coffee for a very long time.
Mhm.
Why?
She
Well,
tricked me.
To be fair, I
Tricked me.
only tricked her a little bit because
Mm-hmm.
first, okay, I told her that we would get it. For those of you who aren't familiar with Universal Orlando Resort, they kind of have like a Disney Springs area as you walk in. It's called their City Walk. It's where it's the free area. You don't have to pay to get in. It's where they have all their shopping and their restaurants. There's a Starbucks there. So I kind of baited her with,
Yeah,
There's a
it was right there.
Starbucks right when you walk in.
Right.
Yeah.
But then I let her sleep in just like an hour later. So we got a later start. Because you were really tired. You got up at 3 the day before.
And how
That's
late
right, I
did you
did.
sleep in that you couldn't get Starbucks?
7 o'clock.
Yeah, it's kind of late for rope drop time. And the park opened for early entry at
7 o'clock.
7. Yeah.
8.
So
8 o'clock. 8.
Or did the park open at? I think the park might have. Yeah, 8. You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
So, and we just had to get ready and go.
Plenty
and
of
blah,
time
blah,
for
blah.
coffee, I think.
And maybe
No,
the park
didn't.
Yeah.
No.
Anyway, we made the sacrifice. Did you want
No
to wait in
coffee.
lines? Do you want to wait in lines, or do you want to be caffeinated? And we had to make a choice here.
And it was an easy choice.
It was. We did. What did we do first? I forgot. We did a Harry Potter ride, didn't we? Oh, we did the bank ride. We did the Gringotts ride.
The what?
The bank with the goblins. Remember?
Oh, yes. Very colorful.
Didn't we do that? Yeah, we did that one because, I had done Forbidden Journey the day before. So we followed, like I said, a touring plan that was first on the list. And you had never really done like an intense kind of moving ride like that. That was kind of a newer technology for you, wasn't it?
Yes, it was all new technology from when I was in LA and did Universal Studios. It didn't seem like they had many rides back then, if any. I don't know if they had any back then.
I'm sure not very. Yeah, if you went in the 90s, it would have been.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, so that was pretty intense. But from there, did we do the Mummy?
I don't remember. You dragged me so fast from one place to another. Did we go on 5 rides in an hour?
I'm really glad that I, clearly was really organized for this. Yeah, I know exactly what we did. But we did like 5 rides in an hour.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And I think we ended up doing
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But those mornings are so awesome when you can get into a theme park and it's like you're there ahead of the real crowds and you just zip around to stuff and you're like, this is amazing. I can't believe I just did all that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And the waits even getting such a late start because I got there at like 6 the day before and got a ton done with no wait. But even going an hour later the next day, I still feel like we got a ton done. And it was a lot that she hadn't done. Like we did the Jurassic Park ride.
I really hadn't done anything.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
But you really wanted to do the water rides.
Yeah.
So we did that.
It was hot.
Yeah.
It was so hot that day. But we learned a few things. Like you accidentally forgot your tennis shoes.
Oh, I still have a blister on my foot.
Yeah. You really? Like a month later.
The worst.
Yeah,
it's the worst when you don't pack. I was 5-ish months pregnant with my second, and we went to Disney in September, and it was still really hot in September. And I was wearing sneakers. I was like, okay, I'm going to wear sneakers. I'm going to be smart. I'm pregnant. Like, it's all fine. And I grew out of my shoes on that trip.
No.
So like my feet just literally couldn't even go in the shoe. They were disgusting and full of blisters. And I went to, this is a great story for the podcast. We went to Disney Springs because I saw there was a new sneaker store there. And I'm like, I just need new shoes. And I walking to the sneaker store, my feet are just bleeding. I'm like, hey, I just need a size up. Thank you.
You're like, just
size 12.
Yeah. And I'm bandaging my feet and putting them in my new shoes. I'm like, yay.
But you kind of get to that point where that desperation point, which I know Lori definitely got because she was wearing high heel wedges almost. Just a higher
they
up
were
one.
like that.
Yeah.
They were maybe 2 inches, 3 inches, maybe max.
But the worst thing is it was the first time I wore them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So they were new. And she just left her tennis shoes out of her suitcase.
Yeah. When it's hot, you want your feet breathing. I hate putting my feet in sneakers when it's hot out. I just want to wear flip-flops. But then by the end of the day, your feet are killing you. And it's come on.
It's not worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Angela, after you finally let me get new walking shoes.
You know, you're just really complaining about that, aren't you? No. So
it was several hours into it, and I kept telling her, and I'm not a complainer, and I'm like, oh my God, I got to get some other. So tell her about the shoes I ended up getting.
I actually ended up reaching out to Twitter because it took her and I a while to even figure out where she could get new shoes.
Mm-hmm.
So I finally reached out to Twitter. I'm like, where
No one knew.
Like someone, like they recommended the front where City Walk was,
yeah,
shoes, but no one really said anything. No one really knew. So we ended up doing the water ride, and then the water ride kind of brings you into the gift shop.
Mm-hmm.
And here we find these like really solid structured.
No, but it was like a Jurassic Park type.
Yeah, it's like a Jurassic Park gift shop. And we find these solid sandals. But they were men's. Like you look over at the women's and it's these flimsy flip-flops, but the ones with the plastic straps would give you an even worse blister. And I'm like, well, you know, we both kind of see them at the same time. We're like, well, hey, what about these? And of course, you know, like I will say that Universal prices are still lower than Disney prices, but they were still $50 and kind of like
ugly. They were camouflage. They were
not
camouflage color.
But like with you being
kind
pregnant,
of cool, but these weren't.
It wasn't.
And I wear a size 7.5 in women's, and the smallest size they had was a size 10 in men's, and I bought them.
Yeah.
Warm.
It's like, I don't care. Just get me some new shoes.
Yeah.
Anything. And you don't care how much they cost. You're just like, I need something.
What they look like.
I think they know that too. Oh. I think the theme parks are like, let's put it right here where they're soaked, or where, you know, they might need blister protection or whatever.
Yeah.
But you ended up getting those.
And comfortable too.
Oh gosh. Well, after wearing those wedges.
Oh, jeez.
But I pulled up my pictures. It looks like we did the Gringotts ride. I think we might have done Mummy. We did the Hogwarts Express, you know, where we took the train.
Yep. That was fun.
That was really fun. We did the Jurassic Park River Adventure. We did Ripsaw Falls. That was the water ride. We did the Seuss High in the Sky trolley, which I really like. We just kind of went wherever the lines weren't.
Yeah.
And then we did E.T., didn't we?
We did.
You have to do E.T.
We did.
That was so cute.
Yeah.
E.T. I don't know, man. I'm still on the fence.
Is the Hogsworth, okay, mind you, I've never read or seen the Harry Potter series. So you can tell her. Are you going to tell her what I said when we were with Seth?
Oh yeah. So we met
that judge.
Yeah, we met up with Seth Kuberski, and if we had him on our podcast, he wrote the unofficial guide to Universal Orlando as well as a million other theme park books. And we met up with him for frozen butter beers, which as a side note, out of all the butter beers, hot, regular, frozen is my favorite.
Yeah.
And he's like, Will, have you seen this? Have you seen that? I think everyone should go with the author of a theme park book because he knows all of the secrets. Yeah. But Lori, out of all the things he showed us, Lori was most impressed that he knew where the nearest bathroom was.
Yeah. He knew where all of them were in the entire park.
Of course, you have to.
You gotta know.
Mm-hmm. But to be bathroom boy.
I'm gonna tell him that's what you're dubbing him. So we, one of the secrets he showed us, which is probably not a secret to a lot of you, is in one of the shops at Diagon Alley. You can go into the shop and talk to a goblin. And you can ask the goblin questions, and there is a human behind the animatronic or in another room that pushes buttons, and then the goblin answers you. Sorry. Forgot. I know, I just ruined it. Maybe I'll edit that out. I'm sorry, ruined it.
Well, they couldn't answer my question.
No, that's true. See, I go the magical route. I'm like, how can I become a teller at Gringotts? And the goblin gives me some that is not something we can do, blah blah blah. And then Seth asks a question related to Harry Potter, and then Lori walks up and's like, what's the temperature in Toronto? And the goblin's just like, I have no answer for that question. That's beyond
Seth
my
just looks at me like, are you from another planet?
Like, I've never heard someone ask that question. But that's what
Gotta
I
be
love
ready
about
for
her.
everything.
I know, they were not prepared.
Yep.
That goblin.
Yeah, they do.
Did not know it was beyond his expertise. For sure. Well, we had a really good day. We ate at Finnegan's. I tried Scotch eggs for the first time.
And
they were good. I liked them.
They're good. Have you had those?
I don't think I have.
Oh, they usually have them at Irish pubs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Try them.
All right.
That's
I'm gonna put it on the
when
list.
you go to Universal, Jen, for the first time in 15 years.
I know. It's been so long.
Go to Finnegan's, which is like an Irish pub. I had the Reuben. That was delicious. It like had a pickle in it. And I'm not a pickle person, but like it was delicious.
Yeah.
She had the Scotch eggs, which you said were very filling.
Oh, they're so filling.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was
They're
good.
eggs with sausage around them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hard-boiled eggs with sausage around them.
I like both those things.
It was surprisingly good.
Yeah.
Then you'll love it. You will love it.
We did a certain amount of shows. We did the Jimmy Fallon ride. We did the Men in Black ride. I'm sure we did more. I just can't think of it right now. But anyway, something that you brought up to me, Lori, was that having ADHD, you have a hard time waiting in line because you get antsy, in your words, like you get bored, you get impatient.
Yeah, I just want to do it now.
Yeah. And you were telling me things that you thought was helpful for how our day went. But yeah, I'll maybe mention a few things that you said to me and maybe you could elaborate on it.
Okay.
Does that sound good? Now you mentioned the lockers at Universal, which I thought was really interesting as something that you thought was helpful for you.
Very helpful.
Why is that?
Well, for one, I guess I can't speak for all people with ADHD or ADD.
Yeah, it's all different. Everyone's different, for sure.
I have a hard time getting things all in one place. You know, so sometimes I'll make the mistake of having a purse that has way too many pockets.
Right.
And it's a nightmare. And so I'm always, I got to remember to take this out and keep this. And so I couldn't figure out what Angela was doing the first time. And she's like, I went to go in with her. Didn't they just let one person in with the locker? And then I didn't even know what she did. And all of a sudden, whoop, everything that we didn't need went right in the locker. And I'm like, well, when are we going to get that? And she said, well, right after we get off the ride. I'm like, oh, we can just put everything in there. And it's fast. Yeah. There was like no line. What did you do? What did you have to open it up with?
Yeah, I was going to explain that for people who have never been to Universal. And I think it's changed a little bit during COVID. You scan your park ticket and it opens up a locker for you that's free for a certain amount of time. And then when you need to get your stuff again, you scan your ticket again and it will open that locker. Now, I think there are bigger lockers, like if you have a lot of stuff or merchandise, and I think you can pay, I don't know, I want to say $2, but I could be wrong. But the ride lockers are free.
And that's like at every attraction, or is that just
a lot of the it's at the ones that like the headliners, I'd say, like the Harry Potter ones, the Mummy, all of those big ones where loose items just can't be around.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and there were a lot of team members kind of directing you to that area.
They were really good about it. And she had a super lightweight backpack. I mean, you could roll it up and put it in your shoe. It was...
Actually, that is true. It just had a lot of stuff in it.
Yeah. But you didn't have to worry about the weight of, a canvas backpack.
For sure. No,
so it fit in everywhere.
True. Yeah.
So I thought that was, and the things you had in there were all things that you needed, except for a Band-Aid.
thought I
Angela,
had
you are
one
a
Band-Aid.
mother. Why do you not carry Band-Aids with
I
you?
looked. I
You should have
unpacked
Band-Aids, medicine, tissues.
I'll have
Come
you
on.
know, I unpacked my park bag yesterday and I had one Band-Aid. I just probably forgot to tell her about it.
Just let her suffer that
You
whole
needed
time.
Tylenol and I gave you that, I think. Maybe
No,
not.
I didn't need Tylenol.
Okay, well then I just dropped the ball on that one.
Yeah. But anyway, she did a great job with everything else. I mean, you had everything in that bag. It was quite impressive.
I have thought about making like a short video about the stuff in my bag because
You
I
should.
feel like
should.
I've mastered it.
That would be a great YouTube video.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves here.
It
Maybe.
would be.
Who knows?
Right? We, my brother and I, try to push Angela to expand on her amazing YouTube channel because the people want to see her and want to hear what she has to say. And she needs to be doing that.
Update to that. I have decided to start posting to social media more.
YouTube
good.
and YouTube. And
I created my first Instagram reel today. So
did.
Jen
I
and
was so
Frank's
proud.
influence has affected me positively.
Yes. So
Impressive.
Yes, it was really hard work. Okay, I need to change the subject. Okay, and you commented on how you really enjoyed the shorter lines because we were using we used the touring plans app because we followed the plan.
Yeah, that was the other thing that I thought was cool. Angela she did a great job of mapping things out, and how she kept me going is she'd say, okay, this ride's only a 3-minute wait now, but if we don't hurry up, it's going to be a 12-minute wait. And I'm like, thus not getting the coffee for a very, very, very long time.
I was horrible.
Hours.
It was hours. I probably didn't get her coffee till 10 a.m. And I told her, I said, we can get coffee now, or we can walk onto the Mummy and you have to choose. And you're like, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were like the perfect person to go to a theme park with because you went with the flow. You let me take control, which I was kind of a control freak that day. And you were just like, fine, I'll just go wherever.
That day.
I'm kind of a control freak, period. Full stop. But you were just like, I'll go wherever. I just don't want to wait in line. And I'm like, okay, well, I think our longest wait was
12 minutes.
Yeah, maybe 20 max going on that like Ripsaw Falls, that water ride, because you really wanted to do the water ride. That probably was our longest wait.
But it was great because she had that app. She was able to tell us exactly how long it was in line to each one.
Yeah.
And
that
so
touring plans, they know what they're doing.
They do.
If she would have said an hour, even though it was 90 and if it was the water ride, I might not have done it.
Yeah.
You got we got soaked.
We got soaked.
That is probably, out of all of the theme parks I've went to, I mean, minus a water park, that's probably like the most soaked I've gotten on any theme park ride.
Yeah, we got pretty wet. Yeah, and then they had the human dryers. That was really cool.
We have to pay for them. What is it, $5 did we see?
I don't know, but we dried off so fast anyway.
Yeah, because it was so hot.
Yeah.
Okay, what else? You mentioned it was nice having things to do in line because some of the queues, I mean, I can't say they were interactive because of COVID, but they had like things to look at and stuff.
Yeah, they had things to look at. They had things that moved around. It was colorful. The people watching was really good though too.
Oh yeah.
So the thing I really liked was, it was pretty entertaining. I mean, they kept you entertained while you were waiting in line, so you didn't realize how long you were waiting in line.
Right. Yeah, I think that's such a great idea. I feel like more attractions are incorporating that, especially as they do updates or they're making new ones or whatever.
Yeah,
sure. It's really good.
Would you say maybe 5 years ago, Jen, Disney really started making that a priority with that like Seven Dwarfs Mine Train and Haunted Mansion, Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, like actual like interactive cues where you can push buttons and make sounds, and they really started doing that because
great idea.
Yeah, it is.
And that
Great
made
idea.
the kids really like that too. But of
Even
course,
with,
like
like-
the adults are pushing it too.
Oh yeah. And
Yeah.
with like Dumbo, they have that whole area where the kids can go like climb through a jungle gym
Yeah.
while you're waiting online, and then you can just be
Really?
called back into the line. Yeah, it's really
Wow,
cool.
that's
Mhm.
really neat.
Yeah.
We didn't do that.
Yes. Was there anything else that you enjoyed about your experience? I mean, really, you haven't been to the theme parks in probably 20 years, would you say?
20 years.
When are you going back?
I don't know. Well, I haven't been to Disney. I was telling Angela last time I was at Disney World, I was in college and I was there for spring break and I was so hungover. It was like 100 degrees outside. I couldn't go on.
Yeah.
I love roller coaster. I couldn't go on anything. My head was just pounding.
Yeah, no.
You know, I remember
You
Mickey
can't be
Mouse.
hungover in Disney.
Mickey Mouse came to greet me, and I'm like, "Oh, have
Yeah.
none of that."
You're like, get away from me.
Oh, it was awful.
Oh, you have to go to Disney.
So it wasn't a
Yeah.
good experience. So that's the only time I've been there.
Mm.
Oh, completely
Yeah.
opposite experience than
It
we
was
would have.
bad.
And that's the other thing about Lori is once she's had an experience, she's like, I don't need to go again. So now that she's been to Universal,
Yeah.
she doesn't need to go back. She'll be bored next time she goes.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Where Jen and I
Yeah.
can go to Disney every single year and never get tired of it.
No.
Never.
It's a nostalgia.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You
It
never
is.
get tired of it.
No.
No.
I wish I could be there every month, like apparently Angela's trying to do.
Break the record, I guess.
Why don't you move there?
Every once in a while I play the game. I do play
Mhm.
that game. And then, but I also debate, I mean, there's a big debate on just, do we want to move to Florida? There's that debate. But then there's debate about Disney itself of like, do I want to be able to go literally whenever I want, maybe every weekend?
Yep.
Do I want to just go, I need some time and like peace out at 5:00 on a Wednesday and just hang out in the parks? Yes to all of that. But do I also kind of like the idea of being able to go and have it feel like a vacation and a getaway and a trip? You know, like I like that part too. And I don't know if it would take away, even though I would absolutely love to just go whenever. I don't know.
Does your husband feel the same way?
He does.
He does. So he
Yeah.
likes going. Thank
He does.
God.
Yeah, I met him. We worked in Disney together. That's how we met. And he
Oh.
actually used to work in City Walk before he worked in Disney. So he is
know that.
he worked in I think in the Universal Studios store. And then he worked at Margaritaville. He was a host. And then he worked in Disney. I mean, but he was like in college when he was doing all that. So it's been a little bit.
All the things I didn't know.
You found your match.
That's right.
Your
Yeah.
Disney match.
Exactly. So yeah, he will, start planning trips as much as I do in our heads and go, and then he will try to up it. Like, what if we do this and stay in the most expensive resort? What if we just did it? I'm like, no.
You're like, well, we
don't have any
could
more
just
money.
do it. But Jen's going to go with her brother in May.
I'm not, but hopefully over the summer I will get there.
Well, good.
Yes.
So you do the same things when you go there?
Sometimes
I know
could
it
vary.
sounds weird.
Right. Yeah. And I used to get that all the time. Like I used to work for an airline. And so then I was there every month for sure. And people were going like, do you go on the rides? Like, what do you do? And I'm like, you do everything or nothing. And it's all glorious.
You
I
walk
love every second.
around.
of it.
Nothing.
You just walk around. I'll just walk around and be happy. If I go on no rides, I'd be fine.
Wow.
Yeah.
But there's a bunch of resorts to stay at too.
Yeah.
And those are all different.
I like to resort hop.
Yeah.
Especially during the
Oh.
holidays, everything's decorated.
That would be fun.
There's
It's
a bunch
nice.
That
of
would be fun
lounges
resort.
and
Mhm.
bars and restaurants.
So I
yeah.
think you guys do a trip where it's very, very heavy on like the parks, and then you go back around the holidays and do like resort hopping and see all the
Oh.
decorations.
Yeah. There's different and there's
Like
different festivals
Mm-hmm.
to go for, like food
Yeah.
and wine. I just went during Flower and Garden, and they have food booths, and there's a specialty drink at each food booth,
Mm-hmm.
and
The
different
art
specialty
festival.
dishes. There's a lot of reasons to go.
Yeah, because there's what is it? A wine fest?
Mm-hmm.
Food and wine.
and
Yeah.
wine.
Yeah, I'd like to do that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like special culinary chefs come in and teach seminars and classes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, they keep making Food and Wine longer and longer. It used
Now
to
it's like
start
6
like
months.
November and would go for like 6 weeks. Now it's like July. We're starting in July.
It's starting so early. And
Yeah.
Because
flower,
they make so much money on it.
Yeah.
and
They
flower
basically have a festival constantly at this
no,
point.
they really do at
Yeah.
this. I think Flower and Garden is now through or till July, and normally it's till like May. They extended it 2 months.
Yeah. That's crazy.
So you need to go.
Yes.
But with me, no one else, because
Of course.
I need to plan.
We can all go.
Okay.
We can all go. Yeah.
Yep. I like it.
Well, Lori, I don't want to take up any more of your time, but thank you so much for being on our show.
Well, thank you for having me.
I think we need to have you back just for your LA stories.
Yes.
Okay, because I got a lot of them.
Can we also have you back with Mama Terry at the same time?
I was just going to ask.
Mhm.
We could do that. What would we talk about?
It doesn't matter.
I think we would just let you guys run with it and just see what happens. We'd
We don't even need a
interject
topic.
here and there. Yeah. I
Yeah,
would love that.
I'll tell her all the time she was wrong, and she'll say,
I'm never wrong. That's
never.
what she'd say. I'm never wrong.
I love it.
Okay, well, thank you. Very nice meeting you, Jen.
Thank you. You too.
And thank you for the first podcast I've ever been part of.
Yay.
You did so
First
well.
of many more.
First of many.
You're
more.
going to be
First
getting
of
calls
many.
left and
You
right
will.
now. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Lori's social media, she's a wonderful social media creator.
Mhm.
It's me. You can find her on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram at Lori Mangan Realtor. I will put that in the show notes. And she's just wonderful if you need a referral or anything. Thank you so much for listening. If you want to give us this is what happens when I don't have the outline in front of me. If you want to give us a review on iTunes, you can definitely do that if you want. We hope you're having a great day, night, whatever you're doing, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye.
Bye.